What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Halftime with K Bizzy, a special episode of Halftime with K Bizzy because we have kyxsan joining us today. Unfortunately, we all know that he got benched about a month ago from Falcons, and it was a little bit of an unfortunate situation due to the fact that he will now not get to play the major as Kerrigan will be replacing him. So it's tough, but he comes here today to kind of address everything and how it kind of went down. And yeah, I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. I got nothing but respect for kyxsan. I mean, for him to do this it meant a lot, and it's probably not an easy thing to talk about, but he gave me the opportunity to kind of share a little bit more about the story, to kind of capture the full picture about what happened. Typically, we do podcasts every single Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern, but this week we're doing it on Monday because kyxsan's joining us, and I'm also not at work, so I will be streaming as this is coming out. Check the description to find my stream down there and come and join and let me know what you think of the episode. And definitely go check out kyxsan's links down there too. He's got a bunch of different types of content that he's doing: streams, YouTube, TikTok, all types of stuff. So definitely go give him a look there. And you know, if you guys want to keep up with the podcast Twitter, I have my links down there too. You can check those out, and I appreciate it. But without further ado, like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know where I could improve, what I could do better. But most importantly, enjoy today's episode. We'll catch you guys on the outro. Mega shout out to Six Gaming for making this happen. He lives very close to me, and he just hit me up one day. He's like, "Oh, dude, would you be down to interview kyxsan?" I was like, "What the fuck? Of course I would be. Like, there's no question about it. Like, what the hell?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was just talking to him. I'll ask him." I was like, "What the hell? Like, how do you know him?" And he's like, "Oh, he's Macedonian, and so am I." And I was like, "What the fuck? This is crazy, dude. Like,
Yeah,
small world."
I don't know him personally, but I know he's following CS a lot, and we've been talking sometimes. Like he's sending me like messages, and he came to IM Dallas, I think. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, and I was there, but for some reason we didn't see each other. But yeah,
Ah,
we know each other like online kinda. We haven't met personally, but yeah, that's how we know each other.
so it
Yeah.
feels weird for me to do like a more, I don't want to say more negative, but like it kind of just a more negative type of conversation. But like, again, that's why I said yesterday, like there's other things I want to talk about too, because I think there's still cool things to talk about other than the main thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, everyone is different. I don't personally care too much if I need to do interview after a loss, but again, everyone is different. I just see it as part of my job, and that's it. You
Yeah,
have to do it.
for sure. Alrighty, so we got kyxsan here, and we're gonna be addressing the elephant in the room and a few other things. But after getting benched, unfortunately, I just want to know kind of how things have been for you after probably some of the most elite, stressful Counter Strike a man can play, and traveling around the world for so long. Like, how are you doing in your off time?
I'm doing good. I mean, it's been almost a month since I was benched, so uh, I'm, let's say, enjoying a bit of time off. I'm also playing a little bit, so I think at the start it was a bit weird for me to not practice, to not travel, to just have nothing to do in a way. But now I got a bit more used to it. I think overall it's nice to get some time off because when you're a pro player, you just travel a lot and you play a lot, and there's many things happening, many emotions, many things around you. So getting this time off is good in my opinion. But knowing myself, I just want to get back as soon as possible, and I just miss playing, and that's why lately I play a bit of, I mean, not a bit of, but I play Face It often. I stream a little bit. I do some content so that I have something to do and not just do nothing throughout these 2 months.
And that's kind of the beauty of it, right? Like at the end of the day, it's important to kind of separate when you get the chance to. Like this is a good time to separate, your career from like, kind of just have a different way of life while you can, while you're not traveling and doing all of this stuff, and separate from CS. But the beauty of it is you can just still play CS, and now you have content outlets, like you can, obviously I'm not saying this is the case, but if you were to never play on a team again, if you decided, oh, I just want to be a content creator, like that's like a totally viable thing. Like that's not an unreachable objective. You know what I mean? So that's the pretty really cool part about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same as playing in a team and competing at tournaments, but it's
Yeah.
still something. So, I would rather play, face it, or something like that, even though it's not the best, as I already mentioned. It's still CS. It's something that I like doing. So, yeah, even though it's not the best, I would rather be in a team right now and be at tournaments. It's still something good for me, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to keep yourself grounded and kind of I feel like when you're living in that type of lifestyle, you could like life kind of slips away from you and then you blink and you're like, "Wait, what the hell?" It's like, we're halfway through 2026 already. We didn't even realize, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel because I mean I started my first international team was Apex, and I feel like that was like few months ago, but in reality that's like 3 years ago already. So I just feel like I just started and it's already 3 years later, So time is going really fast in CS for sure.
for sure. So let's address the elephant in the room as much as we can, of course. Back about a month ago, obviously there was some rumors coming out, like not long after each other, about Kerrigan joining Falcons, which automatically drew people to think that you were going to be bench. That did actually end up happening, unfortunately, and people were thinking that you were going to be joining FaZe, which obviously just it appeared to be speculation. But shortly after, again, Kerrigan would be the guy to replace you on Falcons. So I'm just wondering what you could say about like the whole situation leading up to like more of the behind the scenes, whatever you can kind of say on that. I know a lot of people, including myself, are very curious as to what made that decision, get happen. Really.
Yeah, I mean everything started or not started, but I found out everything during IM Rio. I mean, I arrived in Rio, and the same day in the evening, I just got a message from the manager that we need to talk, and I knew it's not going to be a nice talk because of the way he said it.
Oh man.
But it still came out as a shock to me because before this day, there was never discussions in the team about doing changes or doing anything like that. So it was really
Super
shocking news
random.
for me. Yes, like I mean, I'm aware, and everyone is aware that we were not playing our best game this year. But this is a project that we wanted to build something long term. It was not about winning an event now and like we wouldn't feel like we accomplished everything. But this was something that we wanted to do for a while. Like this team was promised time, and we just wanted to build something long term. And that's why it came out as a shock to me because, as I said, there was not any talks. At least on my side, I was never told, or I didn't have any talk with anyone from the team or the organization about something like this happening. And just the timing of it makes it even worse because, like, it was IM Rio, and then there, like, Falcons have two more events, and then it's the major. So it's really close to the major, which makes it hard for me, like not hard, but almost impossible to make a major because the roster lock was during IM Rio. So it's basically impossible for me to play the major. So yeah, I mean, it's not the best situation to be in, but I already accepted it and I'm trying to move on, and we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate. Like, I don't know, the news coming out, it was so random. I feel like it was an HLTV article saying that Kerrigan rumored to go to Falcons, and then like literally, I felt like it was like 5 minutes later, your announcement came out, and I was just like, "What the fuck? Like, this is insane." And the fact that it happened while you're in the middle of a tournament, I mean, like that's got to be hard to, be going into the server to click heads, and in the back of your mind, you're like, you know, like what the hell? Like I'm not even a part of this team technically. Like, how do you manage that? Like that's crazy.
It was definitely hard. Like I already had some interviews and there was documentary from Falcons and I said some things there, but it was really hard for me. I mean, I was still obviously playing and trying to win, but every moment during this 10 days in Rio, in the back of my head, I knew that I'm not part of this team anymore. So I did my best. I'm sad that we couldn't leave the trophy because it would have been a good story like to end with. But yeah, it was definitely hard, like hard to focus at some moments, even hard to find some motivation in a way. It was hard to sleep even because of the news, also because of the jet lag and all of that connected, you know. But yeah, it was not the best situation to be in, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's the thing that, like, I don't know about what a lot of casual fans think about, but I don't really I don't wanna say that they really think about everything considered in this line of work, like, the traveling, the high expectations, the community, what they're saying about certain teams and certain players, like, all of that and results too. Like, all of this can really pile on people's shoulders, and if you're not, like, a tough person, like, that could really make or break you, you know what I mean? And I don't know if a lot of people really think about that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think for any person or player, like any person or player who, let's say, imagine that he would be in my situation, I think it would be hard for anyone, not only for me. And I've experienced this, I mean, once or twice in Falcons, because in the past, when some other players got benched, it was a bit similar for them. They found out like a bit before, so they had to play a tournament or two, knowing that they're gonna get removed soon. I mean, it was a bit similar with Magisk and Dexter, like 1 year ago. Not exactly the same, but a bit similar. So I think for any person or player in this situation, it's not easy to just play, and it's not easy to control your emotions in this case.
For sure. And obviously Kerrigan's a legend of the game, but like I was saying, like people seem kind of split in half about their feelings toward the matter. Like, you're automatically not getting to play a major all of a sudden. Kerrigan had a horrible season, arguably one of his worst with FaZe Clan, and he wasn't going to play a major. Neither was any of FaZe, obviously. And then all of a sudden, you get shuffled out of the picture, and here comes Kerrigan. Now he gets blessed to play in a major again. So I'm kind of just curious what your feelings are toward the matter, because obviously this must have hurt a lot. But like, do you chalk this up as it's just business, or yeah, I know you mentioned that you had trouble sleeping and stuff, and it affected you. Is this like any bad blood, or do you just chalk it up to like it's just business at the end of the day?
No, there is not any bad blood. I mean, I understand the decision. I understand that didn't do the our we didn't play the best this year, so obviously at some point something needs to change. But I still think it was a bit unfair towards me because we were promised time and we were promised that this is something that we want to do long term, and I feel like we didn't get that in the end, and everything just fell apart in the most important part of the season. I mean, we had IM Rio, and then we had two other events, and then it was the major. So uh, it's a bit hard to answer because we had time. We had almost like, I don't know, 7 months or something after Kyosuke joined, but these 7 months were not easy. Some people might say 7 months is enough. Some other people might say it's not enough, but from like in my opinion, during these 7 months, we showed really good CS. We reached so many finals. We didn't win a trophy, but I think we were really um, most of the time we were playing really good CS. We just had some other issues with like doing the last thing and winning the trophy. That was our problem. And when I think about that, that's why I think it's a bit unfair because we have shown that we are one of the best teams in the world, and we were constantly like, let's say, top three. I wouldn't say top two, but we were constantly reaching playoffs and beating good teams. This year, even beating Vitality a few times, something that other teams haven't done until recently. So yeah, I understand their decision. Again, I will say there is not any bad blood between me or Falcons or anyone else. I just think that team deserved a bit more time and more uh, trust, I would say.
And that's fair. I mean, like it's not like I would know, but like 7 months does seem like a bit of a long time. But unless you're really in the system and with the players and with management and figuring things out and in the prac rooms and everything, I feel like that's when you can really tell when or when it is or isn't enough time, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's unfortunate. I feel bad, man, and it sucks, bro, and it just sucks to see. I'm just sorry that it happened to you. Um, but I know
It's
you've
okay. I mean, that's how CS works. I mean, these things happen often, and I mean, unfortunately, it's the first time for me, and as I said, I didn't expect it, so I'm a bit new in this kind of situation. But I understand that. I mean, these things happen in CS often. Like you see, really often people like teams doing changes and players getting benched, teams bringing new players. So I understand it completely.
yeah, it's I don't know. I guess just the name of the game.
Yeah.
Um, But I know in the past you said you've spoken about having moments of self-doubt when you joined Apex around the Paris Major time and stuff like that. And in your 16 months with Team Falcons, you've led your team's organization to the first trophy lift at PGL Bucharest 2025, obviously a massive achievement. Um, you've got 6 other second place finishes, but there was just something that prevented you guys from winning more trophies and getting that first place finish. Like, what do you think that might have been caused by? Do you think that the negative comments by the community alongside high expectations constantly were things that kind of just weighed down on everybody's shoulders, or was there some other underlying reason maybe? Like, can you speak on that at all? I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, just to mention about Apex, because I remember I had an interview about this. I wouldn't call it a self-doubt. What I wanted to say about Apex back then when I said this was that for me, Apex was the first international team, and I was obviously coming from Blue Jays, and before that, I've always played with my Macedonian teammates, so I had zero experience with playing an international team, with playing with players who are a bit more uh, let's say experienced or even better, I would say. So for me, that was the biggest thing that I didn't know what to expect when I joined Apex.
Okay.
And suddenly, like I mean, the goal of Apex was to qualify for Paris Major, and for me, like 2 months before I was playing some random online tournaments, and now I'm expected to qualify for the major. So that's why I was a bit, I wouldn't call it self-doubt, but I was just not sure like how things will go. Also because it was my first international team, and obviously now I have to call in English. I mean, I would say my English is pretty good, but it's still much different than calling in your native language.
For sure.
Uh, yeah, this was not the question, but I just wanted to mention it.
Absolutely. That's fine.
Uh, Going to Falcons, what prevented us from getting some trophies? I think obviously there is a lot of pressure from the community, but I think after joining Falcons and playing for them for a few months, I understood how things work. Like basically, when you play for Falcons, when you win and when you do good, nobody cares. But the one game or one tournament you lose, everyone is, you know, blaming you and saying that you're a bad IG or you're a bad team and all of that. So basically, I think when you play for a team like Falcons, you need to get used to the fact that you will almost never get what's the word? People will not often say good things about you when you do good, but when you do bad, people will come and be after you, if you know what I mean. So, but this is something that I think I understood quite fast, and that I think also the rest of the team. So after that, I think we just kind of talked, and I don't know if I can say decided, but we kind of stopped caring about what the community thinks about us, and I think that helped us. I think one other thing that prevented us from doing better was, I think sometimes we just didn't control the like we had sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves like inside the team, and I think we were not that good at managing that pressure. What I mean is that sometimes when we played important games, like let's say at a major, it felt different than playing any other regular game, and I think that came mostly because of the pressure. And I think, as I already mentioned, I think we were not the best at managing this pressure that was coming from inside the team. I wouldn't call this pressure from the community. I think this was mostly about us managing this pressure bad.
And it's easy to say that you didn't manage the pressure well, but at the end of the day, when you think about how many, you know, CS2 esports fans there are, period, I mean, when it seems like everybody just hates on the organization that you're playing for, I feel like that's hard to just not like, how do you block that? I couldn't even imagine how you just ignore that. It's like, even Twists was saying, he was taking breaks from Twitter because like he just, I guess it was just getting to him, and I could completely understand it. I mean, when you have that much attention on you and people are just, I mean, some people with death threats is absolutely ridiculous, and then other people just constantly just say disband and retire. Like, I don't know how you could get away with that. Like that's got to be really difficult. And then to go home to as well, like, shit.
Oh, it is difficult, and one thing that many people don't know is that these kind of messages and these kind of threats, we get them almost after every bad game, and that's crazy. And I mean, I can also say that in Falcons we also had some players, like for example Nico, who was, at least when I was part of the team throughout during the last few months, he was not using social media almost at all, and he said that it helped him, and I can understand why. I mean, you can try to ignore these messages as much as you can, but somehow, sometimes you will still get them somehow. And yeah, it's not the best thing to see, because I think these people who send this kind of messages don't like, they obviously don't know how much we work to be good, like how much we want to improve, and how much time we spend on CS, and like this is our job basically. So
Mhm.
they just look at the score, and I mean, that's the most important thing for them, and they just
Yeah.
send different kind of messages. It's also crazy for me, but as I said, after playing in Falcons for a few months, I understood this, and I'm just trying to ignore it as much as I can.
And then you go to an arena, and then there's probably just like a million Falcons fans, and that's got to be like, okay, okay, this is actually pretty sweet, you know? It's the internet when it gets bad because people will go on Reddit or Instagram or Twitter or whatever and just say all this nonsense. But then you'll go show face at any arena in the world, and there's going to be, uh, like any type of Falcons fans, people with signs in the crowd. I mean, I don't know. The internet can be a cancer, but it's also very, very cool at the same time. But yeah, I don't know, I just like to talk to players about their experiences with like the negative comments and stuff like that because I feel like it's important to talk about it more. So if there are any Falcons fans or any kyxsan fans out there that are have said negative things in the past that maybe they shouldn't have, maybe this will kind of give them a little sense of reality of like, okay, maybe I should smarten up, you know what I mean? Because I think there's just way too much negativity and toxicity in Counter-Strike in general.
Oh, I mean, I'm okay with people who criticize us. Like, let's say we are not doing good. Like, we know, like Falcons know that we are not doing good the last few months, and I'm okay that with people who come and criticize us in a normal way. Like, you can say that we're not playing good, or that we need to improve this or that. I'm completely fine with that. But people coming and sending crazy messages, that's just, I cannot understand why would anyone do it.
Yeah.
And one thing that you actually mentioned about the arenas, this is also something that we discussed in Falcons, and to us it's also crazy that online everyone hated us, but every arena we went to, every crowd was cheering for us.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that we have players like Nico and Monesi who have like huge fan base, and maybe that's one of the biggest reasons, but still they cheer for us, for Falcons. And also when we had some, like for example, signing sessions, there was always so many people, like a lot, like most of the time a lot more than the other teams. And but when you open Twitter or HLTV, oh my God.
Yeah. And
That's just how it is.
yeah, absolutely. It's unfortunate, but it's just like it just comes with the territory. So sometimes a situation like yours can really kind of take a toll on oneself, and others could get inspired and motivated from a situation like this to want to do better and try to kind of start fresh on a clean slate. So I'm kind of curious on what your thoughts are going forward for your career and like what you're maybe hoping to achieve or what you're looking to um go into with your next team, whoever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, it's been only a month since I got benched, but in my opinion, it was enough time for me to understand that now I'm even more motivated to come back and play. I mean, CS has been something that I like since I was really young, so I would say it's been my life. Like, I don't know what else I would do if it was not CS. But yeah, I think this 1 month made me understand that this is where I belong, and uh, I'm definitely looking forward to getting a new team and start playing and practicing again. Uh, yeah, I'm just excited to come back.
Okay. Right on. And do you have any expectations on when you want to come back, or are you enjoying the downtime? Because I'm sure that's like obviously hugely important to, kind of enjoy yourself and your life after a while.
I mean, to be honest, when I got benched, I was ready to start playing instantly if there was a
Oh,
team. But unfortunately, no, it's true. Like as I said, I like competing, and I'm just used to that life of just traveling and competing and playing. But I think this break in the end it might be good for me. Uh, I cannot say exactly when I will get a new team because obviously the major is just around the corner, so I
yeah.
will need to wait after the major. Also, there are some things that needs to be considered, like obviously I'm still under contract with Falcons, and obviously there are some buyouts and some other things that I cannot control. So if you ask me, I would like to get on a team as soon as possible, but realistically, it most likely will happen after the major.
Okay. Okay. And I also want to move into some different topics other than, some of the negative ones and stuff like that, of course. I just want to talk about the life of a pro player in the tier one scene in general. What are some things that people should be more informed on when it comes to your job and traveling around the world to do what you do for hundreds of days out of the year, whether it be in or outside the server, or even if there's like misconceptions that, people at home have an idea of, but you are the one that's like in the scene and know how it actually goes, and you know what I mean? Like what can you kind of say about stuff like that?
Uh, to be honest, I think the life of a tier one pro player is hard. Uh, I think people from the outside who like people who are not inside the scene, like okay, some people have this opinion that okay, these guys are just getting paid to play video games, and when I see that, I'm just laughing every time
Oh,
because
100%.
yes, we are playing video games, but we are playing video games for 8 hours a day of team practice, like doing. I'm talking now when I was part of Falcons and any other team. Like you're practicing with your team for let's say 8 hours a day, and then after that, you're not gonna just turn off the PC and go do something else. Maybe some players do. I don't. Like I like to spend more time because, especially because I'm IGL, I feel like I need to do a bit more just to become better player, and I think I have probably the hardest role in the game and probably the biggest responsibility in the team. So when these 8 hours of practice finish, I go and play a little bit individually. I watch some demos or I watch some tournament if there is some ongoing tournament. So if you look at the total hours per day, it's always more than 10. And on top of that, obviously we often travel, and when you compete, sometimes you go through different kind of emotions. Like sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. All this time there's a lot of pressure, especially when you play for a top team. So I think if you consider all of these facts, like how much time we spend, how often we travel, how little time we spend with friends and family, I think it makes it a really hard job. And yes, like some teams are getting paid really well, and that's good. But I can I can say for sure that most of the players, like this is not the reason why most of the players play CS. They play CS because they love CS, and
Yeah.
everything else comes with it.
And it's just the biggest part is just like the sacrifice. Like when I think about my everyday, normal life, like I have a job, like a normal quote unquote normal job, and I come home and I do, my little hobbies and stuff, do my podcast, my streams, make my YouTube videos, whatever. And like if someone has a birthday or if someone has a wedding or something like that, like I can go to that. But in your line of work, like, you can't just say, "Yeah, sure, I'll go to, this person's baby shower, go to this person's wedding." Like, you could be in who knows where. You could be in Shanghai or something, like, it's the sacrifice that comes with that job. I just have so much respect for, because it's not easy to just be able to throw everything aside and literally just pretty much live in a Counter-Strike server. Like, it's again, like I was saying earlier, I don't think many people really think about it like that. It's really a lot for hundreds of days of the year, like 200 plus days of the year. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned the wedding thing because just a few days ago I got invited to a wedding. My best friend will do it in a few months, and he invited me, and I was like, bro, I don't even have a team right now. Like maybe I will find a team soon, and I have no idea if I'll be able to come because this is in July when the new season will start. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you the day before.
If it was now, would be perfect, but I can't tell you what'll happen
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
month or
yeah, yeah.
two.
Yeah, but it's hard. Like as I already said, there's so many things happening, and I feel like the tier one players have such a little free time, and even when you have this free time, sometimes it just happens like that that you cannot plan it from before. So like you don't know that in, let's say, a week you will have an off day. So you cannot, like, often you cannot plan things because of the schedule we have. And yeah, the schedule is pretty rough, I would say, nowadays.
For sure. And another cool thing too is we got cash back finally in Counter-Strike, and this is something I was excited to ask you about too. A lot of people are happy to see it back in the game after like I think it was like a year and a few months of it first initially coming out like on the workshop and whatever. Um but I heard a lot of people also saying that they weren't really happy with the map. Not happy, I should say, but not really thinking that it's ready for like pro play because everything is so narrow and it's just very linear and stuff like that. I'm kind of just curious to hear what you think about the map and what you think about it joining the map pool for, the tier 1 CS and whatnot. Do you think this is a good map that should replace something, or do you think it should just stay as like a community competitive, you know what I mean?
Um, to be honest, I never played Cash in a team, let's say. I really liked playing Cash back in 2017, 18 before it got removed, but it was mostly just playing Face It with friends. I really liked the map back then. I think it was a good map for pugging. Uh, it's been a while since it was played competitively, so I don't really remember how it looked like. But in my opinion, like from what I've seen, a lot of players like this map, and I think, in my opinion, it should get added to the competitive map pool because, I mean, as I said, many players like it, and I just feel like in the last few years we've seen some completely new maps being added, and people were like kind of afraid how it will look like. Like first, I think from what I remember, Vertigo got added, and it was never in the map pool before. Then it was Ancient, and it was Anubis, and most of these maps ended up being good, I would say, or like decent. They were playable. They were not like completely like really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think a map like Cash that was already in the map pool. I know it was a long time ago, but some older players have experience playing it, and a map that a lot of players like from the packs. I think it deserves to be added to the competitive map pool, and I think it will be played a lot.
Do you think that there's a certain map that it should replace? Like, do you have like your least favorite map?
I've always said this, like I don't really have a map that I hate. There are some maps that I like more, some maps that I like less, but I think all the maps are okay in my opinion. I mean, in Falcons I didn't play Overpass, and it was also my permaban in one of my older teams. I don't remember which one. So Overpass is a map that I haven't played a lot in my career, so I would say Overpass, but not because it's a bad map, just because I personally haven't played it a lot. I think Cash would be a really good replacement.
Okay. I think the same thing, and it kind of just freshens things up. And then, once you get a whole map pool established and everybody's kind of like adapted to new metas and how to play this map and how to play that map, all the default smokes and all that, throw cash in the mix. And it's like, and now everybody's got to adapt to that. And that's like, I don't know. It's just like we've had Overpass, then Overpass left, then Overpass came back. Anubis left. Now Anubis is back with some changes. Train left, or Train got introduced, then it left like however long after. It's just like, let's get something new. Let's get something new. Let's just stop taking old stuff, bringing it in and taking it out. I mean, it's just like, come on, let's get something new in there. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think it will be good, especially because I already said it, but I will say it again. A lot of players like Cash from the old days, and I think most of the players are excited to see it back. So that's why I think it will be played a lot, even in tier one, like in tier one tournaments and stuff like that. So it will be played a lot in tournaments, in my opinion, and it has always been a good map for packs. So I
Yeah.
just see it as a win-win situation.
Yeah, hell yeah. And a bit of a turn, but where do you see yourself in like 5 to 10 years? Like, is playing professional CS? It sounds like that's something that you're still very heavily interested in doing. Um, do you think long term like that, or do you kind of just focus on what's in front of you because that's probably the easiest to manage?
To be honest, I haven't thought too much about it. I would say 5 or 10 years in CS is a lot of time,
Yeah.
but as I already said, it's going really fast. Like just 3 years ago, I played in Apex, and it feels like it was, few months ago. Uh, but I would say that I've always had, motivation to play, and if I have to answer this question, I would say that in 5 years, I definitely see myself playing, still playing. In 5 years, I'll be 30, which it's still not that old for CS, especially for an IGL, I would say. And 10 years is a bit too long, I would say. I
Yeah,
don't
for
know if I
sure.
will be still playing, but if I'm not playing, again, I haven't thought about this too much, but I have always liked CS, and I definitely see myself staying in CS after I stop playing as a player. So who knows? Maybe I'll be a coach, maybe I'll be something else, but CS is definitely something that I love, obviously, and I would like to stick there as long as I can.
For sure. And like we were saying earlier too, like the beautiful part is like there's so many different outlets. If you're a content creator, very often you see, especially in IGL, go to a coaching role once they hit a certain age. Even go join the broadcast talent if they're going to be like a desk host, an analyst, an interviewer. Like there's so many different avenues. Like it's really not just like a one lane type of industry. Like it's really openly available to do a lot if you have certain credentials. Which being an IGL for Falcons is definitely a huge one. So I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, we've seen recently a lot of like ex-players who are becoming like talents or something on the tier one events, and I mean, right now I can see it with myself. I'm obviously not playing in a team, so just doing some just streaming a little bit, doing some content on TikTok or Twitch or YouTube. Sorry, like it's not the same as playing, but it still does something to me, and it still makes me motivated to keep going.
Awesome. And is there like a secret to keeping motivated and keeping interested in wanting to continue doing this? Like obviously I know you were just saying that making content it hits a certain spot for you and kind of enables you to stay motivated and stuff. But after all of the days that you play in the year in the server or practicing or doing theory or everything that comes with like practicing and getting ready for tournaments, when you come home and now you get to play CS at your own expense where it's just pretty much for you, like how does that kind of change? Because obviously that's massively different than playing for a team and going into tournaments and majors and all this type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously right now it's a bit harder for me in a way, like harder to find motivation than usually because obviously I'm more motivated to play in a team and go to all the tier one events, but I still manage to somehow find this motivation or inspiration, whatever you want to call it. And I'm even now when I'm benched, I'm playing a lot and I'm streaming as I said. Uh, I'm not sure what's the reason. I just think I've already said it many times this interview. I've always liked playing CS, so it doesn't matter for me if it's not in a team because even playing with my friends, just playing some Face It with my friends still makes me happy. Unless I play solo and I get a really bad team, which happens really often. In these moments, I'm not motivated. No, but I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I think it's one thing that I think I didn't mention that is really important is to sometimes just get a few days off. That
Yeah.
helps a lot of like after being in tier one for a while and after talking to some tier one players or just listening to them talk about this, I think it helps all of them to just get a few days of rest because if you play a lot, it sometimes it gets hard in moments and you can easily get burned out in a way. So I think getting these few days without touching the PC at all or CS at all, then you kind of get motivated to start playing again. And also, I mean, now that I don't have a team, sometimes I'm just watching the other teams play these tier one tournaments, and that also motivates me like a lot to be back as soon as possible. Just watching them play, I just want to be there, and I just see what I miss right now, so that makes me want to play even more.
Awesome. Love to hear it. And above all, what should kyxsan fans expect to see, like, you back on the server? Like you were saying, hopefully after the major. It is kind of common. I shouldn't say common, but it isn't uncommon that you see people get benched and then it just seems like they're in contract hell or there's something going on where they can't join a team. Even sometimes where they get benched from a team and then, a year later they're just back on the team or something like that. What should fans ultimately expect? Like, what do you think that they should expect?
I think they should expect from me to be back as soon as possible. I mean, I said it. I would like to be back right now if I can, but
Yeah.
unfortunately I cannot because of the timing of all of this. But yeah, realistically, I think I should be back after the major. It's hard to say exactly what will happen because, as I said, there are some contracts, buyouts, and some things that I cannot control. I can say that I have been contacted by some teams already. Obviously, not about discussing some like contracts or stuff like that, but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
getting to know each other, and they've shown interest in me. Some teams already, but it's hard to say anything right now because most of these teams that are going to change players is going to be after the major, and I think most of them are kind of just waiting to see how they do in these last few tournaments of the season, and especially the major. And after the season is done, uh, I expect some teams to do changes. Obviously, with how dominant Vitality is right now, I think most of the other teams are not happy with their performance. So about myself, hopefully after the major, something will happen. There is already some interest from some teams, and hopefully some of them show even more interest after the major, let's say.
All right. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, but that was the last question I had for you. So for the outro of the podcast, I like to just shine the spotlight over to the guests. If there's anything that you want to say to the kyxsan fans out there, if there's any messages you want to give, there's shout outs, absolutely anything at all you want to say to close out the episode, please feel free to take the floor and speak your mind on whatever you want.
Yeah, I will just say thanks to everyone, first of all, who watched this video. I hope you like this podcast or interview with me. Also, thanks to everyone who was supporting me while playing for Falcons, and thanks to everyone who is supporting me now when I'm benched. Right now, as I already said, I'm streaming a lot. I'm doing some content, so make sure to check out my stream, check out my social media. There's a lot of good and bad content there, like good highlights and bad highlights. I meant from my stream. There's different kind of things happening there. So yeah, thanks to all of you, and I hope you enjoy this.
Alrighty, guys, that will do it for today's episode. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, kyxsan, for sharing this story with us and kind of just answering some questions I had for you. And yeah, hopefully we'll run it back once he gets back on a team. We have a lot more positive things to talk about. But for now, this is what we'll leave you guys with. So make sure you like the video, comment down below, let me know what you think of it, and subscribe too because it helps me out a great deal. We're getting very close to 600. And we're going to be back next Friday with another episode for you at 12 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget, so turn those notification bells on. And definitely go check out kyxsan's links in the description and go show him some support in this time where he is not on a team. I'm sure he would appreciate it. And I would appreciate it on behalf of him because you guys fucking rock. But anyways, we'll catch you guys next week. Until next time, everybody.